Hi, my name is Daniela Cuevas, and the topic I chose to write about um, is about the 13th Amendment and racial inequality, and I show the connection between the two in my essay. The paper provides in-depth details on how the 13th Amendment is severely flawed, comparing it to modern-day slavery. I present three solutions in my paper how we can resolve this matter. I would like to apologize before I start. My dog is running around my room. Um, I apologize for the noise and also the glare in my glasses. That's going to be present throughout the whole presentation because I am referring back to my essay just to make sure I don't mess up, and I also have some specific quotes I would like to not mess up as well. So I begin by talking about how the amendment was incredibly significant in American history because it not only banned slavery, it freed 4 million African Americans in the United States. While the 13th Amendment did terminate slavery, it was not effectively ended until after the Civil War, so the Reconstruction period. So that kind of shows where we're at with the time period. So in the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Barack Obama stated that the United States is home to 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prisoners, meaning that 1 out of 4 human beings in the United States will get incarcerated eventually. The country now has the highest incarceration rate in the world because of this. So because of the 13th Amendment, it has created loopholes, kind of traps to be set in place, and it plays a significant role in today's racial inequality and slave-like labor in the United States. And I will show you that as I present the solutions. But a few of the solutions that I'm choosing to talk about are 1, rewriting the amendment completely, 2, freeing prisoners of all minor and petty crimes, and 3, kind of creating a law to where judges can not use discretion when it comes to sentencing a criminal, just treating everyone equally, every race equally. Okay. So my first solution is to rewrite the amendment completely. The 13th Amendment states that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. It's a lot of words, I know, a mouthful. But it's basically saying that the amendment grants freedom to everyone except those who are imprisoned. So that's where we kind of see the loophole, the fault, the little error in that amendment. So many professors, scholars, and activists, and even prisoners have acknowledged that there is definitely a loophole and agree that the prison system purposely incarcerates African Americans at a higher rate, specifically 5 times the rate of white people. According to Michelle Alexander, the author of The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Color Blindness, she states that the criminal justice system was strategically employed to force African Americans back into the system of extreme repression and control, by the way, a tactic that would continue to prove successful for generations to come. Okay, the amendment should be revised to the following. Neither slavery nor voluntary servitude shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So basically removing that except in prison. So we kind of just take it out. Maybe not necessarily rewriting it, but we're kind of just copying and pasting a whole line out. So with this being revised, a new amendment would no longer be allowed to have slave-like labor upon prisoners, so which would eventually diminish the need to incarcerate more African Americans. The next solution that I talk about is to release prisoners of all minor offenses. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the number 1 cause of criminal offenses are drug-related, which is 45.4% of the prison population. Many activists, professors, and scholars believe that believe that crimes related to non-violent drug offenses are petty crimes. This is due to the fact that drug addicts can be assisted in prison with proper support and rehabilitation. So, this could also prevent them in the future to perform substance abuse again. Partnerships between correctional industries and private businesses have taken advantage of the overcrowding in prisons. Because of this, they are a rapidly growing segment of the multi-billion-dollar industry in America. In the film 13th, Bob Sloan, an independent investigative journalist, states that free labor is all over. It's from sports, uniforms, hats, Microsoft, Boeing. Federal inmates are making the guidance systems for the Patriot missile system. JCPenney jeans are made in Tennessee. It's always been Idaho potatoes. They're planted, grown, harvested, packed, and shipped by inmates. So this quote is showing that corporations are operating in prisons and profiting from the punishment that prisoners endure. So by releasing prisoners from minor crimes, we would see the number of our incarceration rate reduced significantly, and it'll kind of remove the title of we have the highest incarceration rate in the world. The third solution is to create a law for judges to treat every race as equal. So kind of like how I mentioned, so they won't be able to use discretion to their advantage. Brian Stevenson, a clinical professor at New York University of Law and social justice activist, states that Black men account for roughly 6.5% of the United States population. They make up 40.2% of the prison population. So Black men who commit the same crime as white men get longer prison sentences. An example I used was if a white person was caught with a high amount of cocaine, a Black person caught with crack as a first offense would get the higher sentence than the white man who has a larger amount of cocaine and the Black person having a low amount of crack for their first offense. According to the Sentencing Commission's report, the Black and white sentencing disparities are being driven in a large part by non-government sponsored departures and variances, meaning that sentencing choices are made by judges at their own discretion, and they're less likely to review a Black person's case rather than a white person. Even when a judge reviews a case for reopening, their sentence will not be nearly as reduced as a white person's sentence would. If there were a law that can be enforced so that judges can be fair and not use their discretion, kind of just, if you're going to have a white person sentenced for this amount of time because of this and they did this, it should be the same exact as a Black person committing the same crime, the same time, whatever. So just fairness. So like I said, a law would kind of fix that. While we kind of want to know what solution would be best in this case, there's no single solution that would alleviate this problem. Each individual solution contains strengths and weaknesses, some leaning more towards fixing racial inequality, others more so for solving issues with slave-like labor. In reality, we would want all the solutions kind of made into one so that we can have a true end to slavery. Kind of mentioned before, all the explanations combined would be a superior, well-constructed resolution to the clauses, loopholes, and traps set in the criminal justice system. So that's my presentation. I hope you didn't get too thrown off by me. I tend to get lost in my own words, so thank you so much.